Let's talk a little bit about the communication style self assessment. My first recommendation is that you, as trainers, should take this self assessment instrument just to familiarize yourself with the vocabulary, how it works, how you score it. If you haven't taken it, then it becomes very difficult to answer some of the questions for the participants. When you're asking the group to take this assessment, you should right away emphasize that there are no right or wrong answers, and that sometimes both choices, both statements may seem right to them, but they need to pick the one that is most like them. Some of the vocabulary words might be unfamiliar, and they need to stop and ask for an explanation. And they need to think of themselves at work and what are their behaviors at work. And the way the self assessment works is that you're going to read each pair of statements and choose the one that describes you the best. Again, there's no wrong answer. For example, 1 and 2 are a pair, and you will circle, and each participant will circle either 1 or 2. And they are 1, I like action, or 2, I deal with problems in a step-by-step way. The participants should circle either 1 or 2. If English is not their native language and you're taking it in English, you should be going slowly enough that people can ask for definition of words they may not understand. It's actually best to always take this instrument in the native language because it's easier to understand what's being asked of you and also to be more accurate in your answers. If you do have people who are not native English speakers, it's great to have somebody stand close by who might be able to help them if they have questions during this time. One strategy that I've used for administering this test is actually to read out the set of statements sort of slowly so that people are moving with me at that pace, and we don't have people rushing through and other people that are stuck somewhere in the middle. And this kind of keeps your group together so everybody finishes about the same time. There usually tends to be some confusion about the scoring, so pay careful attention to what they're doing with the scoring. They need to be circling the numbers that they circled on the self-assessment on the scoring sheet. And then they need to add up how many circles they have for each of the different styles, and they should all add up to 40. Sometimes when you take the self-assessment, or individuals would take the self-assessment, they may end up with 2 styles that are of equal value. In that case, you should tell them to pick the style that sounds most like them, and you let them make that decision. Just make sure that they have actually all their points add up to 40, because sometimes that can be a problem. The other thing that can happen is people can come out in one style and say, well, this doesn't sound like me at all. If that happens, again, you say, well, you pick the style that sounds most like you. The reason we're doing this is because this particular instrument is freely available on the web and is perhaps not as refined as some communication style instruments that we might use in other situations. So there can be some room for error in terms of people's styles. Generally, I think we've delivered this to over 150 librarians at this point, and I think I've only had one person tell me that this did not work for them.